We wanted to share with the media and the broader public some of the really exciting things we've been working on over the past little while since the Barclays sell-down decision was made, specifically in relation to building, one, a credible offshore wealth proposition, and secondly, how we are landing that proposition outside of South Africa. So we're very excited to say we have launched earlier this year in Kenya. We now have an in-country wealth presence. We've got wealth managers, wealth bankers, credit specialists who are servicing our high net worth clients. We previously did that on a fly-in basis. We have also, we are still hard at work at launching in some of the other countries outside of South Africa and Kenya. We're doing a lot of work in Mauritius, and we are also just beginning to do work around Botswana and Ghana. Secondly, as I say, in terms of our offshore proposition, we have built an offshore banking proposition, which we think is very strong and allows our clients to be able to transact outside of South Africa globally. And secondly, or in addition to that, we have also built a very, very strong investment proposition, which is not only, I think, competitive in relation to the rest of the market, but is certainly stronger than the propositions that we previously offered.
Okay, let's just take a look at high net worth individuals. What is the criteria of becoming a high net worth client, and how many do we have in South Africa or even broader African continent?
So the global definition of a high net worth individual is somebody who has in excess of $1 million US of investments, right? So that's $1 million of net investable assets, differentiated very much from net asset value. So I think that's a key definition point. In South Africa, we have globally across the continent, we have 145,000 of these. That's based on recent research from the Africa Wealth Report. From a South African perspective, we have approximately 45,000 of that. So South Africa is a significant base of high net worth individuals on the continent. We have approximately just under a third of the total base. But importantly, the growth outside of South Africa, so in places like Kenya, in Mauritius, in Ghana, is far stronger than what it is here. So for us, as we think about the high net worth clients, we certainly think about the growth opportunity, where we don't have a presence, number one, and number two, where the opportunity for growth in terms of delivering products and services for high net worth individuals is. That said, in terms of the definition of a high net worth client, I do point out that from a South African perspective, given significant currency fluctuations, what we have done is we have pegged a rand amount in terms of the qualifying criteria, and that is 10 million rand of net investable assets.
Earlier you mentioned plans of becoming a pan-African business, and you're already on that journey. But where are you seeing the potential and opportunities for the African continent?
If we look at economic activity, economic growth, we also, I think, have another prism through which we need to look at it, which is the operating conditions, the regulatory environment, the investment climate, the political environment, stability, etc. For us, there is no doubt that Kenya is an extremely attractive market. And fortunately, through our association relationship with Barclays, and when we acquired the 9 countries outside of South Africa back in 2013, we've got a strong base from which we can operate from in the retail business banking space, as well as in the corporate and investment banking space. So for us, it was almost natural, as we're thinking outside South Africa, for us to go first into Kenya. As I say, Mauritius is an extremely lucrative market in terms of opportunity set. You've got high economic activity, high growth rates, stable environment, educated population, proximity to the rest of the continent. So not just from an in-country wealth presence, but also in terms of some of the construction of our products and services. It makes a lot of sense to be in Mauritius. Maybe further down the line, significant opportunities that will only come down the line because, I guess, of how we might monetize or crystallize the opportunity. We certainly want to be in Nigeria. It's a significant economy on the continent, the largest economy, as you know. And I think there, however, we need to be a little bit better coordinated from understanding what the other commercial opportunities are from an RBB, retail business banking perspective, as well as in CIB.
Now you're dealing with high net worth clients who I'm sure are aware of what's happening domestically in South Africa. Have they shared their concerns on the technical recession that we faced with?
There's so much that can be said on this. You know, I was just reading a contrarian economist who was actually suggesting that we might not be in a recession depending on how you account for it. As you say, technical recession is 2 quarters of successive declines in economic activity, but it's been suggested by many agencies globally that actually the right way to do it is to do a year-on-year comparison. On that basis, actually, you'll find that the South African economy has grown. If you look at Q1, Q2 of 2018 in relation to Q1 and Q2 of 2017. Nonetheless, if you focus on how it is defined in South Africa, the technical definition, of course there are concerns around an economy in recession. I think the primary concern for high net worth individuals, which is exactly in line with I think what we try to do, is to actually preserve wealth, right? And that's what we assist our clients in. Yes, we talk about growing wealth also, but in the first instance, we protect our clients' wealth. This is very, whether it is for the individual or whether it is as a generational requirement. And so the way a recession immediately is going to impact that is from a currency perspective. We've seen the currency weaken, so the rand weaken significantly over the past few weeks. And so what we need to think about is from a protection of wealth perspective, how do we give that currency protection? So there's a lot of things that we do there for our clients and solutions which we bring to bear. There's another question, of course, which is going to be around to the extent that that high net worth client or individual is in primary activity, which is very dependent on GDP, broader GDP activity. If you're in recession, obviously that's going to be affected. So some of those concerns do come up, and I guess some of the commentary from government around, turning that situation around, including potentially stimulus packages, etc., we are very interested in.